Montecito is a beautiful place to live, and it enabled me to live out of Hollywood. It's the same reason he moved there as why I moved there, to get away. And everybody leaves you alone. You can live a normal life there.
In a stunning revelation, Rob Lowe is breaking his silence over the growing tensions surrounding Meghan Markle's life in Montecito. Once a peaceful retreat for the rich and famous, the community is now at the center of explosive allegations involving drone surveillance and bullying. With accusations mounting and neighbors, including Lowe, speaking out, the serene paradise is no longer the quiet sanctuary it once was. So, what do you think? Are Meghan's actions justified, or is the community's backlash a step too far? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. To help us create more videos and uncover the latest celebrity drama, please subscribe. Rob Lowe breaks his silence on Meghan Markle. Rob Lowe, a beloved figure in the tight-knit community of Montecito, has become the most outspoken critic of Meghan Markle's behavior since her family arrived in the neighborhood. A household name thanks to iconic roles in The Outsiders and Parks and Recreation, Lowe has built a solid reputation not just in Hollywood, but in Montecito, where he's lived for decades. His deep connection to the area makes his recent remarks all the more significant, as he's now publicly calling out Meghan for what he describes as a disregard for the community's unwritten rules, particularly around privacy. Montecito, a haven for the rich and famous, is known for its exclusivity and its residents' commitment to maintaining a low profile. The area thrives on discretion, with private estates nestled behind tall gates and lush hedges, ensuring the peace and privacy of its elite residents. But Lowe has stepped forward to share his concerns, particularly about Meghan's alleged actions that have violated this sense of community respect. The issue that sparked the most outrage among Lowe and his neighbors? Drones. According to Lowe, Meghan and her team have repeatedly flown drones over residents' private properties, capturing images and video without consent. This invasion of privacy has fueled mounting frustrations among neighbors who had once hoped Meghan and Harry would integrate smoothly into Montecito life. Instead, Lowe's public criticism suggests that these drone incidents were more than just an inconvenience. They were a breach of the privacy that every resident, no matter their fame, is expected to honor. Lowe's voice has become a focal point in the ongoing tension between Meghan and the community, as he's not afraid to speak up about what he sees as blatant violations of the peace that Montecito has always valued. His statements have resonated with other residents, who feel that despite their wealth and fame, the Sussexes should adhere to the same boundaries as everyone else. Lowe, with his established credibility and long-term presence in Montecito, has managed to turn what started as a private concern into a public issue that many residents are now rallying behind. As Lowe's opposition to Meghan's actions grows louder, it's clear that his frustration is shared by many. What once seemed like a quiet neighborhood retreat is now caught in the middle of a controversy, with Lowe leading the charge for accountability and privacy. It's not just a matter of celebrity gossip. This is a community standing up for the values it holds dear, and Rob Lowe's voice is at the forefront of that battle. Rob Lowe recently voiced his concerns about the use of drones hovering over private residences in Montecito. But what could have led Meghan to use a drone over someone's property? Was it in the interest of the neighborhood? Or was she doing it for personal gain? And should the public bear the consequences of her actions? Let's find out. A community's battle for privacy in Montecito. Rob Lowe's biggest concern centers around an issue that has stirred up serious frustration within the Montecito community: Meghan Markle's alleged use of drones to capture footage of local celebrities and private events. Lowe, a longtime resident of the area, has shared multiple instances where these unmanned aerial vehicles hovered over his property, disturbing his family's peace and privacy. It wasn't just a one-time occurrence. Lowe describes how these drones seem to appear repeatedly, invading the calm and serenity that Montecito residents typically enjoy in their exclusive, secluded neighborhood. These drones, equipped with high-resolution cameras, are believed to have been used for Meghan's own media projects. While the Sussexes have always been involved in various media ventures, these specific drones are said to have been intended for creating content, possibly for Netflix projects or social media ventures. Lowe's frustration with these intrusions isn't an isolated incident. Other Montecito residents have echoed his concerns, pointing to similar drone sightings over their properties. According to Lowe, these drones were often caught flying over private gatherings, personal moments, and even family barbecues, leaving neighbors feeling exposed and violated. For Lowe and many of his neighbors, this behavior crosses a line. Montecito is a place where privacy is more than just a luxury. It's a fundamental part of the lifestyle. Residents go to great lengths to protect their personal lives from the constant media scrutiny they may experience due to their celebrity status. But the presence of these drones has brought about a sense of betrayal and outrage. People who have always cherished their privacy now feel like their own homes are being treated like sets for someone else's content. The trust in the quiet, peaceful life they once shared is being shaken by the notion that their every move might be captured from above without consent. Lowe's claims have sparked widespread anger and concern within the community, especially as it relates to the issue of privacy. As one of the most recognizable faces in the area, his voice carries weight, and his frustration has helped amplify the growing outcry from other residents. The allegations of drone usage have opened the door to broader conversations about the boundaries between celebrity and privacy. In a place where discretion has always been sacred, Lowe and his neighbors are now questioning how far one's fame should go in influencing what should remain private. The tension has now reached a boiling point, leaving many wondering, when is enough enough? Lowe made it clear that Meghan's use of drones over private properties not only invaded their privacy, but also disrupted the peace of families living there. So, what was the state of the area before Meghan's arrival? And could her actions pose a security threat to the neighborhood? Now let's uncover how Meghan and Harry's move sparked a privacy battle in Montecito. Montecito's quiet paradise shattered. Montecito, a once peaceful and exclusive retreat for the world's wealthiest and most famous, is now facing a growing conflict that has shaken its calm foundation, one that centers on privacy. Known for its live and let live philosophy, the community has always prided itself on its discretion and respect for personal space. However, over time, this sense of harmony has begun to unravel. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's arrival in 2020 was initially seen as an exciting event for the area. Their high-profile move into the upscale neighborhood attracted a great deal of attention and curiosity from both locals and the media. But as the months passed, what was meant to be a peaceful life for the couple began to create tension among neighbors. What initially seemed like an interesting new chapter soon turned into a series of frustrations. The most significant issue revolved around repeated drone sightings over residents' properties, which stirred a deep sense of invasion and discomfort. These drones, which were believed to be used to capture footage for the Sussex's media projects, hovered over private gatherings, creating an environment of unease. Neighbors, who valued their privacy, began to feel that their once serene lives had been disrupted by what seemed like constant surveillance. On top of the drone incidents, security disruptions became a frequent complaint. Security teams were often seen blocking off roads and restricting access to public areas, something that hadn't been an issue before Meghan and Harry moved in. This further alienated residents, many of whom were used to a quiet, uninterrupted lifestyle. The couple's reclusive approach to community life only added to the frustration, as they rarely engaged with neighbors or participated in local events. For a community built on mutual respect and personal space, this felt like a breach of the values that had long been upheld. Rob Lowe, a well-established resident of Montecito, became one of the first to publicly voice these concerns. His statements about the Sussex's actions gave a face to what had been private grievances, bringing attention to the growing dissatisfaction within the community. Lowe's outspoken criticism turned the issue from a quiet complaint into a much larger public discussion. His comments helped shift the focus from individual frustrations to a broader conversation about how fame and privacy intersect in a small, tight-knit community. As the tensions continue to rise, Montecito finds itself divided. What was once a peaceful enclave for the rich and famous is now a place where privacy, the very thing that drew so many to it in the first place, is at the heart of an ongoing debate. The peaceful life that residents once enjoyed seems to be slipping away, replaced by an ongoing conflict over the balance between fame and personal space. Lowe made it clear that the community had been peaceful before Meghan's arrival, but now drones have been used to threaten that peace. But what has the relationship between Lowe and Meghan been like? Could there have been times when Lowe tolerated Meghan's excesses, or has he always denied any form of privacy invasion? Let's uncover the astonishing details. Rob Lowe tackles public rumor with humor. Amid the growing tension over Meghan and Harry's actions in Montecito, Rob Lowe found himself caught up in an unexpected public rumor. After the explosive interview between the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Oprah Winfrey, speculation ran wild about where the iconic interview had been filmed. Because of Lowe's high profile and his long-standing residence in the area, many assumed the shoot had taken place at his home, one of the most famous properties in Montecito. The rumor quickly spread, fueled by the mystery surrounding the location. However, Lowe, always quick with a response, didn't let the false assumptions linger. He was quick to address the gossip, publicly denying that the interview had taken place at his estate. Not only did he clarify that his property was not the filming location, but he also dismissed the idea that his friend, Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos, had any involvement either. It turns out, neither of their homes had been used for the now infamous interview. With his usual humor, Lowe jokingly pointed out that Oprah's own estate was the true filming location, adding a lighthearted twist to an otherwise tense situation. Instead of letting the rumor spiral out of control, Lowe took it in stride, turning what could have been a serious and awkward moment into a humorous anecdote. His response not only diffused the tension, but also showcased his ability to remain composed and approachable in the face of a media frenzy. This playful clarification was a rare break from the more serious matters at hand, but it also spoke volumes about Lowe's character. As tensions in Montecito grew over privacy concerns and drone incidents, Lowe's willingness to engage with the public in a more relaxed and personable manner helped balance the increasingly serious accusations that were being thrown around. By shutting down the rumor with humor and grace, Lowe was able to shift the focus away from gossip and keep the situation from escalating further. Despite the ongoing controversy surrounding the Sussexes and their privacy violations, this moment showed that not every piece of drama needs to be taken seriously. Lowe's quick-witted response added a touch of levity to the otherwise strained relationship between the Sussexes and their neighbors, proving that even amidst the most serious allegations, a little humor can go a long way in maintaining one's composure and credibility. Beyond Lowe clarifying that his residence was never used by Meghan for the Oprah interview, what was the relationship between the residents of Montecito and the Sussexes when they first arrived in the community? Were they welcomed by the residents? And could the use of drones now make the residents regret their initial hospitality towards them? Let's find out. The Sussexes' integration into Montecito. When Meghan and Harry first moved to Montecito, the community was buzzing with excitement. Many residents eagerly welcomed the royal couple, seeing their arrival as an exciting new chapter for the neighborhood. The couple's multi-million-dollar estate, nestled in the lush hills of this exclusive enclave, seemed like a perfect fit for the affluent community. It was a sign that Montecito was continuing to attract some of the world's biggest names, and for a while, everything seemed promising. But as time passed, the warm welcome began to fade, replaced by mounting frustrations and concerns. What started as an optimistic hope for a smooth integration into the community soon turned into a series of complaints that began to sour the couple's image. The first issues were relatively minor but still concerning. Security teams hired by the Sussexes were reportedly blocking streets around their estate, disrupting the peaceful flow of everyday life. Neighbors began to notice long stretches of time when public roads were inaccessible, making the usually quiet streets feel like they were under constant surveillance. While these disruptions were frustrating, they weren't enough to raise alarms for most residents. However, things began to take a more serious turn with the drone incidents. These aerial intrusions marked a significant turning point in how Meghan and Harry were viewed by their neighbors. The drones, believed to be used for filming or media content, would hover over private properties, including those of local celebrities. The peaceful atmosphere of Montecito, which had once been a sanctuary for its residents, was now marred by the feeling of being watched. The drone sightings were particularly unsettling for those who had once taken pride in their ability to live privately and without interference. To make matters worse, many residents suspected the drones weren't just capturing random footage, but were being used deliberately, perhaps for content creation, possibly for Netflix projects or social media ventures. This only fueled the growing frustration, as it seemed that the couple, who had sought refuge in Montecito to escape media attention, had instead brought a new form of intrusion to the area. As the complaints about drones intensified, they became the final straw for many residents. What had begun as minor annoyances soon snowballed into a much larger issue, dramatically shifting the community's perception of Meghan and Harry. The initial excitement and curiosity over their arrival turned into frustration and even anger. The royal couple's high-profile move, which was meant to bring glamour and excitement to Montecito, had now become a source of division, with neighbors questioning whether their privacy was worth the price of celebrity. Though the community in Montecito initially welcomed Harry and Meghan when they first arrived, they couldn't stay quiet when drones began threatening the peaceful livelihood the area is known for. But could their frustration be solely with Meghan's use of drones? Or are there other reasons they feel she's going overboard and inconveniencing the people of Montecito? Let's find out. The escalating tensions. Rob Lowe and other residents of Montecito have begun to notice a disturbing pattern in the behavior of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry since their arrival in the community. What started as curiosity and excitement over the royal couple's move has slowly transformed into growing frustration and resentment. Lowe, a longtime resident of the area, has been one of the most vocal critics, and his concerns have highlighted a broader issue that many neighbors share. One of the main points of contention has been the couple's apparent sense of entitlement. From the very beginning, Meghan and Harry's actions have raised eyebrows, especially regarding their disregard for the privacy that the residents of Montecito hold dear. The most glaring example of this has been the drone incursions. These high-tech aerial devices, which Lowe and others believe were used to capture footage of local celebrities and private events, have become a symbol of the Sussexes' perceived disregard for the community's unspoken rules. Neighbors who once enjoyed peaceful lives behind their private gates and hedges now find themselves constantly wondering if they are being watched from above. But the drone incidents weren't the only problem. Meghan and Harry were also reportedly caught filming people and events without consent, adding to the growing sense that their presence in Montecito was more about using the community for their own media ventures than integrating into it. These actions have left a lasting negative impact on what was once a harmonious and tight-knit neighborhood. What was supposed to be a peaceful retreat from the public eye for the couple has instead turned into a source of tension, with many residents now feeling uneasy and alienated in their own homes. Lowe, who has lived in Montecito for decades, is particularly frustrated by what he sees as a lack of respect from the Sussexes. As someone deeply rooted in the community, Lowe feels that no amount of fame or wealth should excuse the behavior he's observed. In a place where privacy is considered a sacred right, the Sussexes' actions have felt like an invasion. Lowe, along with many other neighbors, believes that the couple's celebrity status should not make them exempt from the basic rules that everyone else in the neighborhood follows. The sense of entitlement they've displayed has left a bitter taste in the mouths of many. And for Lowe, this has been the breaking point. What was once a neighborhood defined by discretion, respect, and peace has now become a community torn by growing resentment. Lowe's criticism, supported by other residents, has sparked a much larger conversation about what happens when fame and privilege collide with the values of a quiet, private community. Despite their celebrity, Meghan and Harry are now facing the very issues they sought to escape, and it's clear that Montecito's residents are no longer willing to tolerate behavior they see as disrespectful and intrusive. Lowe described the inconvenience Meghan brought to the community as not just limited to the drone issue, but as one of many complaints from residents. But are there other celebrities in the community? Why aren't they speaking up? And why is Lowe only accusing Meghan of actions that he hasn't accused others of? Now, let's explore the clash between celebrity culture and the community's values. Montecito's quiet crisis. In the picturesque upscale community of Montecito, Residents, including household names like Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres, have largely stayed quiet regarding the growing issues surrounding Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. While these famous figures have chosen to remain silent, Rob Lowe's decision to speak out has brought much-needed attention to the rising dissatisfaction within the neighborhood. His bold stance has exposed what many had kept private, a simmering frustration that has been quietly brewing beneath the surface for months. Montecito, once known for its serene beauty and its reputation as a private refuge for the world's most influential figures, has seen its peaceful image tarnished by the ongoing drama surrounding the Sussexes. What was once a place where residents could live behind their gates and enjoy privacy away from the media spotlight has slowly turned into a battleground for differing values. The quiet streets that were once filled with calm and discretion are now filled with whispers and complaints. Lowe's vocal criticism, particularly about the Sussexes' alleged disregard for local privacy norms, has drawn attention to the sense of invasion that many neighbors are beginning to feel. This rising tension within the community is not just about drones and security disruptions. It's about the clash between the values that have always defined Montecito and the celebrity culture that Meghan and Harry bring with them. For years, the residents of this exclusive enclave have prided themselves on their commitment to privacy, community, and respect for one another. But as the Sussexes' presence grows more pronounced, some feel that these fundamental values are being pushed aside in favor of media ventures and personal agendas. Lowe's vocal stance has opened the floodgates for others to express their concerns. While other celebrities in the area, including Oprah and Ellen, have kept their thoughts to themselves, Lowe's decision to publicly address the issue has sparked a broader conversation. More residents are starting to speak up, and the community, once united in its love for privacy, is now divided. The growing frustration stems from a fear that what once made Montecito special, the tranquility, the discretion, the peace, may now be under threat. This situation raises deep, important questions about the tension between celebrity culture and the values that have long been cherished in Montecito. Can a neighborhood that prizes privacy coexist with the constant media attention that comes with having high-profile residents like Meghan and Harry? What happens when the pursuit of fame and personal projects begins to overshadow the community's long-established norms and expectations? As these tensions rise, the future of Montecito's serene reputation hangs in the balance. Though other celebrities in Montecito have remained silent about Meghan's disturbances, Lowe's bold approach to voicing the community's concerns is widely appreciated. But could his decision to speak up impact Meghan's stay in the neighborhood? Could his stance be enough to force the couple to leave Montecito? Let's find out. The future of Meghan and Harry in Montecito. As investigations into the drone incidents unfold, the future of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry in Montecito hangs in the balance. Once seen as a peaceful haven for the elite, Montecito is now caught in the middle of a growing controversy, with the couple's actions at the center of the storm. Rob Lowe, a well-respected actor and longtime resident of the area, has become a leading figure in voicing concerns about the Sussexes' behavior. His decision to speak out, backed by other residents and local authorities, has turned what began as private complaints into a full-blown public issue, drawing attention from the media and the public alike. Lowe's involvement has sparked widespread discussion within the community, as he describes a series of privacy violations that have left many neighbors feeling unsettled. What was once an idyllic neighborhood where residents valued their peace and discretion has now been overshadowed by these allegations. The drone incidents, in particular, have caused the most uproar. These unmanned aerial vehicles, believed to be used by Meghan and Harry for capturing footage of local celebrities and private events, have left a deep sense of invasion among residents. What was supposed to be a sanctuary from the media has become, for some, a place where privacy feels compromised and where even the most basic respect for boundaries has been ignored. Despite the growing backlash, there are still those who defend the couple, citing the relentless media scrutiny they faced in the UK as justification for their actions. Some argue that Meghan and Harry's attempts to protect their privacy, even if it involves drones and other intrusive methods, are a result of the pressures they have faced from the press. However, the prevailing sentiment among Montecito residents seems to be one of disillusionment. What was initially seen as an exciting addition to the neighborhood, a celebrity couple seeking a quieter, more private life, has turned into a source of frustration. The irony is not lost on many. Meghan and Harry, who left the UK to escape constant media attention, now find themselves embroiled in a similar controversy in their new home. This situation highlights the complicated nature of fame, privacy, and the struggle to find balance between the two. For a couple who sought peace and privacy, their new life in Montecito has become a reminder of the challenges that come with living in the public eye. The media frenzy that they tried to escape has followed them, manifesting in a way they did not expect, through accusations of invading others' privacy. This clash between the couple's desire for privacy and the realities of living in a celebrity-driven world raises larger questions about the balance between personal freedom and community expectations. In Montecito, where privacy has always been sacred, the Sussexes' presence is now a test of how fame can impact a community that prides itself on discretion. As investigations continue, the question remains: can Meghan and Harry truly find the privacy they seek, or will the complexities of fame continue to haunt them, even in their new sanctuary? So, what do you think about Rob Lowe's allegations? Could they be enough to force Meghan and Harry to leave the community? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.